Hello and welcome to the Inaugural Forum of the Midlands Network of Popular Culture. My name is Georgie Rowe and I'm joined by my co-director Dan Buckingham. We're delighted to open the proceedings with some brief remarks about the network, including our origins, our goals, the kinds of events we intend to put on, and the kinds of services we offer beyond the events themselves. We appreciate that, given the nature of this event, attendees will be popping in and out throughout the day, so the key information we're about to put across will be reiterated throughout the day's events. Before we get into the details though, we'd like to start by offering a general word about how audience participation will work once our events begin. As the day unfolds, feel free to engage with our Twitter account @MidsPopCulture, and if you're tweeting along to the day's discussions, we'd love for you to make use of the hashtag MidsPop2020. If you'd like to ask any questions meanwhile, you can use the Twitch chat on your screens in order to put questions to our various speakers and panelists, which will then be conveyed to them by the moderators. You'll need a Twitch account to use the chat feature, but don't worry, questions submitted by Twitter will also be kept track of. We'd also like you to bear in mind that all of today's lectures and panels will be recorded and later uploaded to our website. So don't worry if you miss out on anything. One of the goals of our network is to act as a repository for the kinds of research sharing that the forum represents. So we shall do everything we can to make sure that our recordings are accessible to anyone who might want to enjoy the various panels and lectures we have in store today.
The variety of the day's events is really a testament to the lively and engaging work taking place both within and beyond the Midlands in the sphere of popular culture. And our attempt to capture just a snapshot of that work is part of our ongoing project of ensuring that Midlands-based work on popular culture has an environment in which it can be showcased and collaborated on. The story of our network actually began in a pub. In a chance encounter on unrelated business, a group of postgraduate students, including myself and Georgie, discovered two important things. Firstly, we were all engaged in some kind of work pertaining to pop culture, and secondly, none of us felt that there were any definite, concrete communities which entirely catered to our desire to meet and work with peers in comparable specialisms. Often, to use the parlance of my own studies in the realm of the literary middlebrow, we found ourselves betwixt and between various other networks and centres, which find themselves limited by a mixture of periodization and canonicity. These observations lit the fuse that led us to forming our own network, which embraces a great variety of specialisms, all loosely constellated around the sphere of popular culture. Within our committee alone, we encompass a diverse array of research interests, including science fiction and posthumanism, American race relations and reception of the classics in weird fiction, queer romance novels, middlebrow satire, the use of camp in slasher films, political gothic theatre and performance, and the intersection of fantasy fiction and magical realism. Meanwhile, our steadily growing members list has expanded both our research interests and disciplines of study, with new members hailing from such areas as museum studies, audiovisual studies, Russian, and several other fields besides. We like to think that this diversity of interests, which have nonetheless converged upon our pop culture-based network, highlights both the need for such a community to exist and a fertile ground for collaboration and exchanging ideas in an interdisciplinary fashion.
Speaking of our members, it's very easy to get involved in the network and become a member yourself. Just head over to the Get Involved section of our website and fill in the form. We'll feature your profile on our members page and provide you with a further opportunity to raise your public profile and broadcast your research and achievements. Our members page will also allow you to connect with researchers in your field and, we hope, allow for new avenues of fruitful dialogue between researchers in popular culture who may not otherwise meet, especially given the lack of traditional in-person events brought on by the current circumstances. We are also accepting submissions to our blog. If you'd like to write a piece of 500 to 1,500 words describing or introducing an aspect of your current work, feel free to drop us a line at midspopculture@gmail.com. It's now time to discuss the specifics of today's events. We've got a fantastic series of lectures and panels lined up. At 10:30, Daniel Shepherd will chair a lecture by Professor Catherine Rothenberg, in which she will discuss her book, The Rise of Neoliberal Feminism. Through an analysis of Ivanka Trump's Women Who Work, Professor Rothenberg will speak on the subject of neoliberal feminism's negotiation of reproduction and care work. As with all of our events, there will be time at the end for a Q&A session.
At 11:45, meanwhile, Georgie Williams will chair an exciting panel on jazz studies, featuring papers on various aspects of jazz, including a potted history of the field in terms of both theory and practice, a discussion of the temporal blurring inherent in improvised musical performance, the value of accessible musical instruments in the context of working with non-verbal autistic children and young people, and observations from a host of a BBC Three improvised music show. After the jazz panel at 12:45, committee member Jade Martin will share some reflections on the network and begin to look ahead to the afternoon's events. Following an hour-long comfort break between 1 and 2, we will then enjoy our afternoon keynote address by Professor Lisa Fletcher. Professor Fletcher will give a talk on the 21st century bestseller, examining the contexts and practices of production and circulation, particularly in relation to Amazon. Finally, at 3:15, a panel of industry practitioners will discuss digital environments in 21st century visual media. We'll then offer some brief closing remarks before saying goodbye to what we hope will be a rich and rewarding day.
This forum is the first of many events coming your way over the next few months. Our aim is to organise events on at least a monthly basis, a mixture of lectures, workshops, work in progress discussions, and more casual social engagements as well. In particular, we'd like to draw your attention to our next event, a lecture entitled Visions of the Future, in which postgraduate researcher Liam Knight will give a talk on dystopian fiction on the 28th of August. Meanwhile, on September 10th, we're pleased to announce a workshop entitled Reception Theory and the Classics, run by our own Rhys Jenkins and Healy Barlow. Due to the pandemic, all of our events will be entirely online through a combination of Twitch streams like this one, Zoom, and similar platforms. This means that all of our events will be accessible and free. We hope you enjoyed the forum, and please stay online for our first event, a lecture by Professor Catherine Rottenberg.